Hello and a very warm welcome to Rajya Sabha Television. You're watching Verdict 2016 with me, Frank Pereira. Here are today's Verdict headlines. Gloves off as BJP takes on Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalitha directly. AIADMK fumes at Piyush Goyal lists number of times Jayalalitha met central ministers. Party seeks apology from the BJP. Assam Chief Minister alleges BJP spent crores in attempt to topple his government. Tarun Gogoi's allegation comes days after Prime Minister's blistering attack on him. Says the BJP had tried the same tactics that was used in Arunachal and Uttarakhand. And ahead of the Assam Assembly polls, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi begins campaigning in the state. Rahul addresses 3 rallies in Karbi, Aglong, Karimganj and Kachar districts of Assam. Well, the AIADMK has sought an apology from the BJP for Union Power Minister Piyush Goyal's comment on Tamil Nadu and its government. Goyal on Friday described Tamil Nadu as a state within a state while expressing his inability to meet Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha. Here's more. After Union Minister Piyush Goyal criticized Tamil Nadu Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha for being an inaccessible leader, the state's ruling party countered his remarks and condemned them. The AIADMK said Goyal's statement was politically motivated and untrue. The party has also demanded an apology from Goyal. The statement by Goyal that he could not meet the Honourable Chief Minister Purachi Thalaivi is a preposterous accusation. It is an unsubstantiated allegation made with a political purpose. Piyush Goyal on Friday had said that the AIADMK chief was inaccessible and that the state was not concerned about its fishermen. He had also said that he had failed to reach ministers in the AIADMK government despite several attempts to contact them.
It's a state within the state. It's a part of the country where I can't even reach out to the chief minister. I've made several attempts to talk to their leaders without success. So I have access to 28 states in this country. But on the 29th state, even if I call up and want to talk, I talk to the power minister. He hears me and he says, okay, I'll talk to Amma and get back to you.
The AIADMK in its response listed details of meetings the Chief Minister has had with union ministers since the Bharatiya Janata Party came to power in May 2014. It also said that the Prime Minister had not granted them an appointment to discuss fishermen-related problems in the state. Besides Goyal, other BJP leaders in the state have also criticized Jayalalitha. BJP National General Secretary Muralidhar Rao said her government's failures will be an issue in the upcoming polls. For the BJP, the Union Power Minister's statement sets the tone of their election campaign against the government. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television. Meanwhile, former Union Minister and President of the Tamil Manila Congress, G.K. Vasan, said that the TMC is still working out an alliance for contesting the upcoming assembly elections in Tamil Nadu. Speaking to our correspondent Ravindra Sheoran, Vasan also said that the centre should find a permanent solution to the fishermen problem in the state. Let's listen to what he had to say.
What do you think, sir? What are the main issues which are being highlighted by the other political parties in these elections? The AIADMK is ruling for the 5 years and the BJP party is in the centre.
The TMC agenda will always be for the prosperity of the poor people, downtrodden, SC, ST and minority. We will always like to see that the lifestyle of these people in the society develops on a higher way.
You have raised the voice of Tamil fishermen, sir, and the problem is still arising. It has still not any conclusion. No party has reached, or no government has reached on any conclusion. What do you think? How effective and how important is this issue for
the fishermen's issue is one of the important issue for the state of Tamil Nadu. The issue has been continuing for the past 4 years at least, and from both the previous government and the present central government, their efforts have not been succeeded till now. The central government has to take a very strong stand on this and come out with a formula with the Sri Lankan government so that there is a permanent solution for this problem.
People are saying that the floods were not properly taken care of, and because of that, huge loss of property has been seen. The AIADMK government could not perform very well. How do you see this, sir?
I would say whichever government was in power does not really have the infrastructure or machinery to manage the subject fully. For future, keeping this reign as a precedent, I think lot of initiatives has been made by the government.
At the time when your father was the president of Tamil Maanila Congress, at that time the DMK was in alliance with you, and all the 39 Lok Sabha seats were swept by the alliance. Do you think now under your leadership the same thing will be repeated?
See, political formations changes from election to election. So we'll have to wait and see what is the present mood of the people, present mood of the party cadres.
Well, let's now take this to my guests who are joining me today, of course, on the program. S. Srinivasan, senior journalist, and Deepak Diwan, executive editor of the Northeast Sun. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me on the program. Srinivasan, I'd like to start with you, of course, and, taking off from what G.K. Vasan was saying, was talking about, political equations and political formulas. We've seen that the DMDK and WICO seem to have worked out some kind of a political formula. The Congress and the DMK are still talking to each other, trying to work out their seat-sharing formulas as well. So do you think that these alliances are in place, or it's still work in progress?
Yeah, you're right. It's still work in progress. And, the last statement which Vasan made is very significant. What he's trying to say is the coalitions are still not formed, and he's still open to go to the other side. What was being felt so far is he may go with AIADMK, but he wants more number of seats, and she's not willing to give more than 9. Probably, therefore, he has decided that he should open doors with, or open some kind of thing with DMK. And DMK is, of course, keen, but remember, Congress is an ally already with DMK, and whether he would like to go, that's a signal today he is making that he has no problem. Even if Congress is there, after all, TMC has broken away from Congress. And what they are saying is, he is in a way indicating that he is open for that.
Can we then say, surely, that, the AIADMK is not looking for any allies, they want to go it alone? Because that's the kind of message that they've been sending out to the BJP as well. Because the BJP, we've seen from a long time now, is very keen to, go ahead with the AIADMK, but then those kind of overtures are not coming through from the AIADMK.
See, AIADMK, by very nature, the party, because it's actually, one can say it's a one-woman army. Everything is dependent on a decision of one leader, Jayalalitha. And what decision she takes, it's very difficult to guess. But what is very clear is, if you have to see today's scenario, they're on a very strong wicket. They had a very high vote percentage, 44% in the last parliamentary election. Of course, that's come down because of, there is an incumbency factor, and also this Chennai, floods and all those things are affected. But still, I think the alliance, even with, even if she is not able to cobble together a bigger alliance, I think she is confident. And there are smaller parties which are already with her, like more than half a dozen parties are with her right now. And they all add votes incrementally in various constituencies. And remember, she is also very good in arithmetic. She actually knows which are the constituencies and how things would matter, and where are the places which she need to get support. I think she's working on that.
Okay. Before we move on, Deepak, very quickly, of course, talking about Tamil Nadu, where do the BJP and the Congress really stand? Do the national players really have a role to play in Tamil Nadu?
See, I think the BJP is trying their luck, its luck everywhere. And this, one will see only, how much impact they can make in the coming election.
Indeed. Of course, it's now time for a very short break, but still to come on the program. Of course, Assam Chief Minister alleges that the BJP tried to do an Arunachal and Uttarakhand in Assam, claims that the BJP spent crores to pull down his government. That and other news from Assam on the other side. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Odds are really stacked against Congress at the moment.
Modi magic has failed every stage now. People will see who can deliver good, who has that experience.
Which card is Congress playing?
We are playing secular cards, inclusive cards.
Badruddin Ajmal says that he is going to be the kingmaker during 2016 elections.
People are the kingmakers, not one individual.
Your trusted aide, Himanta Biswa Sarma, left the party and he's joined the rival camp of the BJP.
I was happy that he left the party.
Watch To The Point with Assam Chief Minister Tarun Gogoi only on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. Well, Assam Chief Minister Tarun Gogoi on Tuesday alleged that the BJP spent hundreds of crores of rupees in an attempt to topple his government with the help of the governor. Gogoi's allegation came days after Prime Minister Narendra Modi's blistering attack on the Congress leader during the recent poll rallies in Assam. The Assam Chief Minister also claimed that Sharma, once a trusted Congress minister of Gogoi, who is presently in the BJP, had almost garnered the support of 35 MLAs and tried the same tactics used in Arunachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand of shifting the base to the BJP. Gogoi further said that if the 35 MLAs whose support was shown to be withdrawn from Gogoi's leadership in front of the Congress High Command had really shifted their allegiance to BJP, the government would have fallen instantly. Gogoi also regretted his decision to trust Sharma during his tenure with the Congress. Well, coming down heavily on the BJP, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi questioned Prime Minister Narendra Modi's tall promises of turning the fortunes of the state. Rahul Gandhi began his election campaign in election-bound Assam today. Let's listen to what he had to say.
मोदी जी ने कहा था कि असम में अगर बीजेपी को आप वोट देंगे लोकसभा में तो असम को मैं बदल डालूंगा। और किया क्या? स्पेशल स्टेटस हुआ करता था, असम को हजारों करोड़ रुपए दिल्ली की सरकार भेजती थी, कांग्रेस पार्टी की सरकार भेजती थी, उस स्पेशल स्टेटस को उन्होंने कैंसिल कर दिया।
Joining me for a chat right now is our correspondent Vishal Daya. Well, Vishal, give us a sense of what's really happening on the ground at the moment. We've seen that the political campaigning has reached a feverish pitch in Assam at the moment. But give us a sense of what's happening on the ground right now.
Well, yes, Frank, you're right. In fact, the campaigning does have reached a feverish pitch, and the place where I am, that's Jorhat. It's around 325 kilometers from Guwahati, the capital of the state, which is going to poll in two phases. The first phase on 4th and the second phase on 11th. Now, the first phase is mostly in the areas of Upper Assam, the areas where I am right now, districts of Jorhat, Dibrugarh, Tinsukia, and nearby other districts as well. Out here in the Upper Assam areas, one very interesting factor which is at play in the first round of elections in Assam is the very fact that both the chief ministerial candidates, Tarun Gogoi, who is the incumbent chief minister, and the chief ministerial candidate for Congress, as well as Sonowal, Sarbanand Sonowal from BJP, who is going to be the chief ministerial candidate. Both of them are contesting from two specific seats which are nearby to each other, and both of them are in Jorhat district. And both of these seats will be going to polls on 4th of April. So both the parties have put all their might in this particular phase. If you look at these areas where I am right now, then at some point in time when there was the Assam movement and the aftermath of that, these areas used to be the stronghold of AGP. AGP's electoral fortunes declined slowly, and they were relegated to third position, in fact, in last assembly elections. And from then onwards, it is Congress which has gained heavily in these areas. And in fact, most, if you look at the number game, then most of Congress's MLAs who have won rather constantly and continuously in last 3 assembly elections have been in Upper Assam areas only. But the scenario changed in 2014, Frank. In 2014, the Modi wave seemed to have swept all across Assam, specifically the Upper Assam areas, and the BJP made specific gains, a large number of assembly constituencies. They made headways, and this is what the BJP is planning to cash in on out here in Upper Assam areas. And what they're hoping is that their chief ministerial candidate also being from this particular area might give them some sort of leverage out here. And let's not forget the alliance which has happened between BJP and AGP out here. So it's a very, hotly and keenly contested election in Assam, specifically in the first phase itself. And in the second phase, the scenario is entirely different. But as of now, the focus of all political parties, the focus of all their leaders, national leaders of both the parties as well as leaders of the regional parties is in the upper Assam areas. We've seen leaders like Rahul Gandhi campaigning today. Tomorrow from Congress, there will be Congress President Sonia Gandhi. Amit Shah, the BJP president, has already campaigned in these areas. We've seen Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressing rallies in these areas, and we'll see a lot more leaders coming in next 2 to 3 days to address public rallies and garner votes for candidates of their respective parties.
All right, Vishal Dahiya, we'll have to leave to that. Thank you so much for joining us there with those details. We'll keep coming back to you, of course, during the course of the polls in Assam to get the latest from you. Let me now take this to my guests, S. Srinivasan, senior journalist, and Deepak Diwan, executive editor of the Northeast Sun. Deepak, I'd like to start with you, of course. We've seen that the BJP has named Sarbananda Sonowal as their chief ministerial candidate for Assam, but it looks like it's the Prime Minister who's really taking the fight to Tarun Gogoi, the chief minister of Assam.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, the chief minister himself has said the fight is between me and Modi. But the fact remains, is that this time election is very different. Congress is facing first time in the last 15 years a real opposition in the elections. See, that's the reason Mr. Gogoi had 3 terms. See, after the AGP had started losing its grounds, Congress was enjoying in the state unopposed or sort of unchallenged as a major party. But this time, the alliance between BJP and Bodo People's Front and AGP, and there are 1 or 2 more small groups in the parties, other parties. So it is a very well organized joint front, which is giving a tough time to Congress.
But can the BJP do a 2014? Have things changed from 2014 to 2016? Or do you think that the BJP stands to lose if they do badly now in Assam?
In Assam, they are going for the first time with such a force as a organized joint front, alliance. See, I'll tell you, the last election, when Congress contested assembly election, the Bodo People's Front was their alliance.
Yes.
The Bodos have fixed 12 seats in the Bodo areas, which now will go in BJP's, pocket.
Indeed.
And the adjoining areas, I expect Bodos, BPF to increase their strength by 3 or 4 more seats.
Okay.
It will have an effect.
Interesting. Srinivasan, do you believe that anti-incumbency is going to be a factor in Assam, because Tarun Gogoi has been the chief minister for 15 years now? So will he get another 5 years, or do you think that that his time is up?
See, I think a very important thing is, like he's saying, that this is going to be a real contest in some ways because of the way the coalition has developed. And the other thing is, Gogoi's own performance as a chief minister, those are the issues which will come. I think BJP is now trying very hard to, at least after a successful parliamentary election, try to open a door there, and then they're campaigning very hard. I think things will unfold as we go along, as we see. But what it seems is it's going to be a very interesting election.
Okay, age, the Prime Minister has time and again said that Tarun Gogoi's age is going to be a factor. Is it going to be a factor?
He used the word buzurg.
Yes.
Elder man,
Yes.
Well, see, the thing is, after AGP's rule, when Prafulla Mahanta became as a young chief minister of Assam, I think this is the first time we are seeing BJP's chief minister candidate, a young candidate, Sonowal. And what's going to benefit BJP also is the Sonowal's background. He is a former ASU president.
Yes.
Assam, All Assam Students Union.
Yes.
And which consists of young voters. Today, I think generally the young voters do decide the fate of candidates.
Indeed, indeed. All right, we'll have to leave it at that, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me on the program, Deepak Diwan and Srinivasan as well. Thank you so much for being a part of the program and putting things into perspective for us. Moving on now, it's time for some election snippets from poll-bound states in our section, Polpuri. A committee has been set up in Puducherry to address complaints and grievances arising out of the conduct of election flying squads and static surveillance teams. The committee comprises Deputy District Election Officer, the Nodal Officer and Treasury Officer of the Directorate of Accounts and Treasuries. Sitting MLA in Kolkata's Kalimpong, Harka Bahadur Chetri, who had resigned from the Gorkha Janmukti Morcha, will be defending his seat as an independent candidate with support from the ruling TMC. Besides Chetri, only 3 other nominations have been filed from Kalimpong. The last day of filing of nominations was today. However, the independent candidate has no plans to join hands with the TMC. Tamil Manila Congress Senior Vice President B.S. Nanadesikan has said that it may not be possible for his party to coexist with the Congress in the electoral alliance in Tamil Nadu. Reports suggested that the DMK, which has already signed a poll pact with the Congress, was seeking to rope in the Tamil Manila Congress as well. Let's now get you the latest from poll-bound West Bengal. BJP President Amit Shah has dared West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee to throw out corrupt TMC leaders from the party. Speaking at a press conference in Kolkata, Shah also alleged that the TMC uses illegal infiltrators from Bangladesh for vote bank.
परिवर्तन के नारे के साथ आई हुई ममता दी ने पतन के दिशा में बंगाल को ले जाने का काम किया और ममता जी ने बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठियों की समस्या को वोट बैंक की दृष्टि से देखना शुरू किया है और न केवल बंगाल, पूरे देश भर में सुरक्षा का गंभीर खतरा तृणमूल कांग्रेस की सरकार के कारण पैदा हुआ है.
Well, the BJP president targeted the Trinamool Congress again in an election rally in Nayagram. Shah launched a scathing attack on the ruling party, accusing it of corruption and also demanded a CBI probe in the recent Narda video sting.
चिट फंड के अंदर 17 लाख से ज्यादा गरीब परिवारों का पैसा ये लोग खा गए. ये चिट फंड कम्युनिस्टों के समय में शुरू हुआ और ये चिट फंड ममता के समय में बढ़ा.
Moving on now, Congress leader and former Union Minister Deepa Dashmunshi will be taking on Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee from Bhawanipur seat in West Bengal in the assembly elections. Our correspondent Pranav Goswami spoke to Dashmunshi ahead of her campaign in the area. Let's listen in to what she had to say.
क्या आप संभावनाएं देखते हैं अपनी पार्टी का इस चुनावों में?
देखिए, टीएमसी के साथ हम लोग गठबंधन किए थे, लेकिन वो गठबंधन स्थायी रूप में नहीं रह पाया और टीएमसी जिस ढंग से शुरू से ही बंगाल के जमीन पे राज करना चाह रहे थे, जिस ढंग से फैसिज्म को प्रतिष्ठा करना चाह रहे थे, उसके खिलाफ हम लोग शुरू से ही आवाज उठाना शुरू की. ये जनता की गठबंधन है और जनता ये मांग किए हैं, इसीलिए हम लोग सब सारे सेक्युलर फोर्स, सारे डेमोक्रेटिक फोर्स हम लोग एकजुट हुए हैं.
आप परंपरागत तौर पर रायगंज से चुनाव लड़ती रही हैं, जीतती रही हैं. आप यहाँ पर आई हैं, कितनी मुश्किल चुनौती आपको?
देखिए, ये मेरा जन्म स्थान है भवानीपुर. यहाँ मेरे पूरा चाइल्डहुड मेरा यहीं पे, मैं स्कूल लेवल में सब कुछ मैं यहीं से किए हैं. और प्रियरंजन दास मुंशी जी जब राजनीतिक उनका सफर शुरू हुआ था तो इसी साउथ कलकत्ता से शुरू हुआ था. यहाँ का एमपी बने थे शुरू में, तो भवानीपुर से हम लोगों का ताल्लुकात पहले से ही है, अभी भी है.
कि क्या इश्यूज आप देखती हैं इस कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी में, खासतौर पर क्योंकि आप यहाँ पर घूमी हैं, आपने लोगों से बात की है, क्या मुद्दे हैं जो कांग्रेस के लिए और दीपा दासमुंशी जी के लिए नजर आ रहे हैं?
पूरे बंगाल में जो इश्यूज है वही भवानीपुर का भी इश्यू है. एक तरफ एक भ्रष्टाचार एक बड़ा इशू है, शारदा से लेकर नारदा तक इश्यूज है। डेमोक्रेसी को जिस ढंग से खत्म करने की कोशिश जारी कर रहे हैं तृणमूल, वो हमारे लिए इशू है। शिक्षा इशू है, पानी इशू है, पीने का पानी भवानीपुर में सबसे प्रॉब्लम है। बहुत सारे इश्यूज है, हम जरूर लाएंगे, लेकिन साथ साथ हम लोगों का विजन क्या है, हम लोग पश्चिम बंगाल को किस ढंग से सामने लाना चाहते हैं। यहाँ से जो कारोबारी है, जो व्यवसायी है, यहाँ से अपना पूरा बिजनेस हटाकर दूसरे स्टेट में जा रहे हैं। यहाँ के कोई भी मरीज अपना इलाज कराने के लिए दूसरे स्टेट में जा रहे हैं, तो ये सब सामने जरूर आएगा।
Well, since it's verdict 2016, before we end the program, let me remind all our viewers to watch our exclusive interview with Assam Chief Minister Tarun Gogoi in our program To The Point tomorrow at 10 p.m. That's it from me. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Odds are really stacked against Congress at the moment.
Modi magic has failed every stage now. People will see who can deliver good, who has an experience.
Which card is Congress playing?
We are playing secular cards, inclusive cards.
Badruddin Ajmal says that he is going to be the kingmaker during 2016 elections.
People are the kingmakers, not one individual.
Your trusted aide, Himanta Biswa Sarma, left the party and he's joined the rival camp of the BJP.
I was happy that he left the party.
Watch To The Point with Assam Chief Minister Tarun Gogoi only on Rajya Sabha Television.